Yo, Jeffrey, that's my nigga. Jeffrey, that's my nigga.
Yo, it's Saga in this bitch. What's up? I'm just gonna go through basically my setup, how I make music, and I'm actually gonna link every single product below. And if you plan on purchasing it, make sure you purchase it through the link so you get the discount. Because I do live with my mom right now, I kinda wanted it to, when she's working or sleeping, I could still blast it. And I could still blast it while she's working or sleeping. So this did work very well. I actually took out the closet doors up in this place. And this is what my closet used to be, but now it's this. So what you'll notice is I have a lot of foam all around. A lot of people are wondering if foam works, but like, yeah, it works because like I'm facing this way and it sounds like this, and now I sound like this. So it really does work, and especially when you're recording, it gives you a lot better recording. This foam right here, I actually just went to Walmart to get this foam. It's actually a memory foam mattress pad. I would suggest this for your ceiling and nothing else, because it is thin, it is cheap, and it does get yellow and gross. So anywhere you can't see, put that shit. If you can see it, stay clear of putting that. Plus it's not that functional. It's not as good as this stuff. So this was just really for extra space that doesn't need that much attention. The ceiling technically doesn't need it at all. This was just for noise isolation completely. Behind your monitors where you're going to have your thickest piece of foam. This foam is like 2 inches thick, and then I have more behind it as well, because that's where you want a lot of it. Because if you have a lot of bass going on, it tends to get trapped behind it, and then it's going to, especially in a little space like this, the bass is just going to conjugate and fuck you up. I have a decent computer, a lot of fucking cords. A decent computer I got from Best Buy for like $700. Basically, you just need it good enough to run FL Studio on the highest settings. Good sound card. I verified it does do that. This thing runs smooth. You can see like the bars are. Bars run smooth and everything. It's actually kind of a pain. You don't realize till you get a better setup like I did how much worse you do on music when you just don't have a good setup. First off, most important thing on earth to have are monitors. Or, yeah, they're called monitors, but some people call them speakers. I'm not really picky, and I don't care what you call them. These are KRK Rokit 5s. I suggest this as like the baseline. Like any sort of music you make, this will be more than enough and more than good. People say it's a little bit muddy. No, not really, but I could see why they say that. It seems like it's sometimes with certain things it's muddy, but there are a lot of occasions where these speakers really blow me away. The only reason that I'm not going to use these again when I get my new house very shortly in a month here is because I want to do like low bass, like 15-inch subwoofer in your car type Gucci Mane type shit, and these you could hear it, but it's still very subtle. And with how much foam I have, there's really not much room for bass to develop. So with how much foam I have, for the bass to be able to come through so great with how much this foam is sucking it up, it's pretty awesome. Next most important thing, if you don't have, you don't gotta get, I mean you gotta get foam, but if you're recording it, you need foam. The two main things you need, monitors and an interface. This is a Focusrite Solo. I believe this boy's like around $100. I did have a much larger one that could take in 4 instruments, but I decided I don't want to make rock music anymore, and I don't need to be recording instruments. I only record one person at a time, so you really only need one interface if you're making rap music. So I traded that in for this one. This thing is amazing. This thing is my cup holder. I treat this thing like garbage. I'm setting cups on this bitch all day. I'm spilling shit on it. You can tell how much this is worn off. I'm constantly moving it. It's constantly catching on the cords in the back. It's like I put this thing through hell, and man, has it held up for $100. What's also really nice is this dial. It hasn't gotten loose, and it hasn't gotten any worse at all. And I'm pretty much adjusting this thing like every 5 seconds when I'm making music. You know, I'm constantly turning it up if I want to hear some bass and I need it louder, I could turn it up. When you're watching movies or playing games on this thing, or like anything you're doing, having just a volume dial like right to your left, like I don't even remember how to turn up volume on a computer. Like I don't even know how to. I know you go down here, but like this thing has been my volume now for so long. Where I went wrong is I'm running these chords. You should be running XLR, but I'm just running these for now temporarily. I am going to upgrade once I get the new studio. This is optional, of course. This is for people who really take pride in their production and they don't just use samples and they write their own melodies. Basically, when I'm not trying to use a sample, like I didn't use one in here, I actually plug this thing in real quick. It's really easy to set up, and you just kind of, you don't really even know how to play piano. Like I used to just use the keyboard, and that's fine, but that's not on time correctly. The way that goes to the keyboard, it's never on time, it's always laggy, blah blah blah. This gets you like a much smoother experience. When you have writer's block or producer's block, just being able to pick a sound you like and push around and then record it straight into a playlist and then click quantize and it times it up, it really helps people who really take pride in their production. And if you're like a producer, I would definitely use this. There's some knobs on the side. I don't really even know what those do. I really only plug this thing in for 5 minutes to write my melodies and then unplug it right again. I mean, it looks really nice in here, and it really fulfills its purpose. Let me show you like a million things I'm doing wrong not to do, by the way. So don't have right side foam and then left side nothing. This is like so bad. Usually I have like a post with a giant piece of canvas that I put around here, and then I usually take like these heavy curtains. These are like soundproof curtains or whatever. And I usually put it on this side too if I'm really mixing, because if you have foam on one side and you don't have it on the left side, man, you're like messing up your sound pretty bad. Also, what's under your monitors is pretty important. Probably one of the worst things to put on your monitors are speakers, but I want them at ear level and I couldn't find any books or anything. Invest in like those foam slabs to put them on, because what can happen is the bass can rumble this table and actually give off more audio waves. Like the table will become a subwoofer technically, and it really does happen. Like in songs where it moves my table, I hear a lot more bass just off of this glass under it. Something that I personally love, and that's not necessary, but man is it like amazing, is like a Razer mouse, because they're super cheap and they feel so good. And if you're like me and you're behind this computer for like 6 hours every day doing this shit, when I'm moving quick, you know, on my stock mouse, when you're moving quick, you know, you're not that precise. Like before I had this mouse, I was like clicking around and I would like just do things super quick and then constantly click the wrong thing and have to like push like, oh, Control Z, and constantly fuck up. But like once you have a nice mouse that just moves smoothly, you know what I mean, you save time and like wrist pain, and also it looks cool. You could choose any color for these things to glow and whatnot. So that's also another upside. It just makes me happy to look at it and feel it, and it just, I don't know, when you have nicer things, you just feel more compelled to make better music, and you just, I don't know. Same how like if you're playing a video game and you're using your favorite character, you're just gonna do better with him. These microphones connect to XLR. The guy at Best Buy told me to definitely use a high quality brand for XLR. I don't know the truth behind that. You can get these pretty darn cheap, but for just $10 more you can get like the name brand. So I suggest just go through with it, because you're gonna spend hours fixing your voice anyways, so you might as well just make it work good. Pop filter, get a budget one unless you're crazy about looks. I don't care about looks. Notice how there's no neon lights or Christmas lights up in this bitch, because contrary to popular belief, having LEDs in your studio does not make you better. In fact, everyone I've seen who has a million LEDs in their studio lit in colors has pretty much sucked. Enough with that rant. But this is the AKG P220. I think so. Yep. This is the mic I used on the album Katie, but this is not the mic I'm using for my next album. I would not recommend going with anything else other than this if you're just starting out, or if even you just want to improve your setup. This bag girl right here, no good. Also, don't set heavy shit on top of your monitors. It causes them to sound different. Again, I'm missing out on that. I like my trophy though. I'm gonna keep my trophy there. This one's just sitting there for the video. Avoid the blue products. If you're really on a budget, get a blue snowball. This is $100 or maybe $80. Miss this all the way. First thing, this is a USB interface. Oh, the other one's USB, but this thing's gain levels are so fucked. It'll like pick up like your tongue and like the spit in your mouth, but then it won't capture any rich tones in your voice. And it's just a nightmare to mix if you're not experienced. I'd say fuck that. Get a snowball if you're on a budget and you're just trying to start out with music. But I mean, this mic is like the bread and butter mic. It definitely captures your voice, and it doesn't add like a richness to it like an expensive mic would add a richness and like a great effect. But what I think this mic does is like copies real life. Like I could record my voice into this mic and then play it back from like those nice KRKs, and then it will like literally sound like I'm in the room talking. So like this thing just literally captures real life, and I'm super happy with it. And I got this bougie ass stand here, and it's taken a couple falls, and it's been shaken around and beat up a bit, and it's taken a lick. And again, I treat all my shit like shit because I'm a caveman. Earphones are up to you, because I only use don't use earphones when you're mixing. Don't do that. I only use earphones for recording, and I don't like noise cancellation when I'm recording, so I usually take one off. These are actually Young Zan's. He leaves them here. What a nice friend. That's why I love that dude. But I actually recommend these headphones. Young Zan used to bring these over, but he lost them. And me and him are definitely going to make an investment and buy them together for the studio, because they fucking go hard. So yeah, basically this is my setup and how I've made all my music, and my music's cool. Basically, let me give you the rundown of literally how to get set up good. Just get a focus right. I'm not against getting this one used, actually. Just make sure the dials are nice and twisty. You can get set up nice. So first thing you're gonna need is KRKs. Yeah, stick with KRKs. I would not get any other type of monitor. Honestly, when you buy KRK brand, you just pretty much are just playing it safe. You're not taking a risk on any other, because they are cheap. I mean, KRKs are cheap, but at least you know that they're bread and butter. You can get ones that are cheaper and maybe better, but honestly, KRK's warranty and everything, it's just like, why not just choose an iPhone? Yes, like some Androids are better, but just go with it and just do it. Alright, happy producing and happy recording. Love y'all.